All right, so a lot of you with 4Runners, Cherokees, Land Cruisers, GXs, all that fun four-door overlandy stuff, wanted us to come up with a way to mount a little bit of extra fuel or water on the side of your rack on your vehicle. So we saw a few options on ways to do that, but they're pretty much vehicle specific, and we wanted to make something a little more universal. So no matter what rack you have or what vehicle you have, there was enough adjustability in this mount to work for your application. So this is what we came up with. The upper mount here will work with bar spreads of up to 12 inches on center. So if you have a rack that has that, you should be good there. We use hinges up here in this location, so any angle that you'll need to be taken care of. And there's slots for those hinges so you can adjust the skew or the inward, outward position of this. And then underneath we're using a suction cup. Now this type of suction cup has become pretty popular in bike racks and stuff. So we know it kind of has the durability and the weight capacity, so we're pretty excited about that. And then this aluminum panel here, it's all aluminum, but this panel is made to use like a Rotopex mount or quick fist mounts or anything like that. And we're saying it's good for about 20 pounds is our recommended max capacity. So that's going to be a 2-gallon Rotopex can full of gas or water. So it's pretty easy to just push it down against your glass, a couple pumps, and it's super secure. It's super easy to install, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So it's probably going to take you longer to find a T-handle than it will take you to install this, but let's go through it. This is a 5/32 T-handle or hex socket or whatever you've got. We're going to grab this bracket right here. It's going to have a long slot here. This slot's going to go on the rack. It's going to have some shorter slots here. These are going to go on the panel itself. So we'll set this like this. We will grab a hinge. It doesn't really matter your orientation on it. You just want to make sure that this flat portion here is against the flat portion of this mount like that. Grab a 1/4-inch button head and a 1/4-inch flange nut. Now you might want to put some anti-seize on here if you're in an area where you get some salt or some salt water or whatnot. Anti-seize is always a good idea here. We're just going to loosely put these hinges on now. It'll be way easier to adjust it once the whole system is on your truck. So there's one hinge. We will match the orientation on this side. All right, once you get those hinges on there, you can tighten these button heads up just enough so that they'll still slide up and down in the slots, but so that they're not just kind of flopping all over here. It'll make it easier for you. So we'll just put them at the end of their adjustment right now. And depending on what vehicle you're putting this on and what rack you're putting this on, we left lots of adjustability in these slots, in this slot, and the hinges themselves mean that whatever angle your window is in relation to the rack, it doesn't matter. So, all right, so now we're going to take this panel here. On the 5th Gen 4, we're going to put it like this. On your vehicle, you may find another orientation that works better, but what matters is there's this hole pattern on the top that matches the hole pattern on the hinges. So we're going to mount the hinges behind this panel. So 1/4-inch button head through the panel and then through the hinge with a flange nut. We're going to repeat that process 3 more times. Okay, once you get that all loosely bolted together, you're going to have a panel that looks roughly something like this, like this, like this. Okay, we're going to mount the suction cup on now. So here is the suction cup. There's going to be one hole in the panel right here, kind of in the lower middle. Go ahead and put your suction cup on the bottom of the panel with the plunger facing down. There's going to be a stubby little 1/4-inch button head here with a 1/4-inch washer. Go ahead and point that plunger down, and then you can tighten this bolt up. You may want to use a little bit of blue Loctite on that just so it doesn't rattle loose. But that's the panel that's assembled. Let me show you how to put it on the 4Runner. All right, depending on what vehicle you're using will kind of depend on which one of these you're going to use. It's most likely going to be either these two or these two. On the 5th Gen 4Runner, we're going to use these two. So we're going to remove the 1/4-inch button heads that you use to mount the rails, the extruded rails. So once you get that second one out, that rail could fall. So you might want to grab onto it from the top just so it doesn't drop out. Just kind of depends on how you assembled your rack. It looks like that's going to hold tight for us. So. Okay, so now we're just going to put this mount in position and just install one bolt in each rail for now, just to kind of get it held in place. So with this slot here, there's lots of adjustability, forward and backwards, kind of depending on what vehicle you're using. So you may want to get that adjusted, get it centered in the window how you like, and then you can go ahead and tighten these upper bolts down. Make sure you add all 4 of them in there. Once you get this aligned front to back, we're going to start aligning it on the slots on this rack. See, this can kind of move in a few different directions, and what you're shooting for is you want this suction cup to be as flat as possible on your window before you suction it down. It's just going to help with that staying put. So you can kind of twist this around and figure out exactly where you'd like it to be so that it's kind of flat on the window. And then once it is, you can go ahead and just push the bottom button there until it can't press anymore, and then it's suctioned all the way to your glass. So you want to make sure your glass is clean, obviously, before you're doing that. Once you kind of have that position where you like, you can go up here and then tighten down both sides of this hinge to lock that down. If you want to release the suction on the suction cup itself, there's a little tab on the side, and you just go ahead and peel that tab up, and then you can release the suction. And you can actually, once this is bolted down, you can actually just use these hinges to twist it up. You can put different mounts on here and whatnot, so you don't have to pull the whole thing off to change the mounts. Once you have what you like, once again, make sure that window's clean. Press the suction cup against the window. 3 or 4 presses on that bottom button, and you should be all set. So once that's done, you can go ahead and make sure all your bolts are tight and mount whatever accessories on it you want. If you have any questions about this product or any product here at Victory 4x4, shoot us an email, info@victory4x4.com, or give us a call, 269-459-8447. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.